do want to point out that this was my bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. She slept right there.
We've slept in here.
What was the arrangement when you were in here? Was it just bed against this wall?
Bed was against this wall.
Okay.
You were in the only spot where it was like conceivable to have like a walkway.
Yeah.
So there was a nightstand in that corner.
Believe it or not.
Bed went out to probably like here, and then that was I had an external closet that I think is at the theater now.
Maybe.
in the basement. Might have gotten tossed.
The
It was
coat rack?
falling
Yeah,
apart.
the coat rack.
Yeah. The basement flooded and that rusted.
Yeah, it was broken as hell.
And it was broken and had a lot of
I-
tape on it, so I think we did make a
Yeah.
management decision.
Oh
to
yeah,
throw
it was a good decision to get rid of it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that was here, and then I had some stuff over here too. But
It was very nicely laid out. Do you have a picture of like just the setup? Maybe we could post it.
I
wish.
gotta have a picture of the setup. I certainly have like video of it. I could cut a video.
You have video, but you don't know if you have a picture.
I did like a video walkthrough and I sent it to my
Just
family.
take a screenshot.
Okay.
No,
No, that's cool.
It was kind of hard to describe my living situation because they'd be like, "Okay, you're living in a basement," and I was like, "I don't know how to describe that. This is like the most living space I've ever had," and it was like a lot of separate. I had my own bathroom, laundry room is right here. Like the bedroom was small, but the living space
The
over there
office,
was not. I mean, this was bigger than my apartment was in Wicker Park, which is not saying much. My apartment in Wicker Park was a shoebox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true though. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. Well, I guess I didn't. I had a second bedroom with a roommate at that place, so that would have. If I had access to that room, maybe it would have been the same size. But yeah, so I have a video and maybe a picture, but we'll find it. We'll find it, and we'll do that when I'm not
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah, being recorded. Yeah.
How long
Some
were
of
you
the
here
time.
for? Was it a couple months?
Like 2 months.
2 months. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right. May to
June.
Yeah, May to June,
think
May to
so.
July.
It was
something like that.
Yeah, right at the beginning of COVID, because I remember helping move you in here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Moved twice. First couple months of COVID. There wasn't even a fucking test yet you could take to know if you had it.
Oh yeah.
It was just like, hey, I'm gonna ask someone
That was horrible.
who is so scared of being outside if they want to help me move my shit into a house full of other people
Everything
who are
I've
scared.
ever touched.
Everyone is afraid of strangers and friends, and we have no idea if we have the thing.
Good
So
times. Yeah.
yeah, really just kind of crossing our fingers. And I moved twice in 2 months.
Yeah, just the perfect time to move.
It was like
Twice.
it made so much sense before it was COVID. It made so much
Oh,
sense to
yeah,
plan
yeah.
a move around. I was like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah, perfect. Like my
It
lease
did.
will start in June, and I just have like a 2 month layover, and you were moving in the house. I was like, oh yeah, and you offered. I was like, this is gonna be great.
Yeah.
2 months, you know what could be better? We're gonna be performing at the theater all the time. We'll be able to carpool, like you know.
It really is devastating to think of all the things I was planning on doing in 2020.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had my 30th birthday at this house.
Yeah, that
That's
was fun.
true. That was nice.
Wait,
Yeah.
really?
Yes, I did.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
Picnic.
Yeah, it was a picnic. We played Betrayal at House on the Hill.
Oh yeah, I
But
got
not-
kind of day drunk.
Yeah,
Mhm.
kind of whole drunk, kind
Kind
of
of
whole day
drunk.
drunk.
Kind of
yeah.
drunk,
Yeah,
yeah.
I kind of got drunk.
Once day drunk turns into you're drinking like wine at night, and you're like, I've been drunk for 7 hours.
Yeah.
It's just a job at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
It's
you're
your
like,
day
just have
job.
to keep it going.
Mhm.
Day drinking is tough for me.
Yeah.
I made an exception on your birthday.
Oh
but
yeah, dude.
I get so tired so quickly.
Me too.
Yeah.
And after 2 hours, I'm just struggling to stay awake. And so yeah, I just have to keep drinking. Some people like to day drink and then they're like, now we'll just chill and eat dinner. I'm like, no.
No.
Mm-mm.
If
No, no,
can't do
if
it.
I am drunk during the day, it was an accident. It was an accident, period. But also,
But also, I mean to do it a lot.
But also, usually, I'm like, I have like plans to drink in the evening, and they're like party plans, you know. So you're like,
Oh,
I
so
gotta
you-
start early, but
Yeah.
I feel like
Sorry,
these
it's
days it's
10:30 a.m.
it's time to go.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why day drinking always turns into like a huge like riot because everyone's like, "Fuck, we're gonna fall asleep if we don't."
Mm-hmm.
Play flip cup, and you're like, "Whoa, it's 11 a.m.
Wow.
Let's do it."
We all want to do this.
You're like, yeah, let me finish my cup of coffee, my first cup of coffee for the day, and then I'll play Flip Cup.
Yeah. You have to put the alcohol in the coffee. You have to like trick yourself in the morning. In the morning, in the day, you're drinking.
Yeah, good tips from Brooke Hartnett.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee drinking, done that?
What do you mean?
Do that ever? Do you like doing that?
Drink
yeah.
like alcohol
yeah,
and coffee?
yeah. No, that was just my way of saying drinking coffee.
I like that transition. Be like, anyway, coffee.
What do you think
feel
about it?
Yeah.
What do we like about it? What do we hate about
Alex, it says on your
Pros,
notepad here,
cons.
this is one of your topics.
Coffee?
Drinking
Question mark, question mark, question mark.
It's frantic. It has a frantic energy to
I
it.
bring
You
it
got
up
89
every
bullet
podcast.
points of just stuff
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
through.
Coffee. Do you roast your beans yourself, or no? I mean, putting liquor in coffee. I don't know that I've done that much.
I have done it. Do you like it?
Seems like a rare thing for most people.
I feel like there was a place that I worked at one point in my life where I did a lot of drinking alcohol in coffee, but that was like a combo. Well, I don't know. That's not true. I think like coffee and Bailey's is really nice to me in the cold months. And recently Bailey's had a like an almond milk version that was gross. It curdled actually. It didn't really. It didn't. It was kind of like. It's kind of like what. When almond milk first came out, and everyone was like, "I guess I'll try it in my coffee," and it was horrible.
And you just see the specks.
It was like that. Yeah. Just the floaters.
Hadn't worked out the bugs yet.
And almond milk really got like just hamstrung by oat milk. Came in and just absolutely dominated the whole market. I think soy milk is floating along on being like the Coca-Cola of like milk replacements.
Yeah.
It's like
soy in general is just like soy's there.
Yeah, soy's
there.
there.
You
And it
feel
always
like-
has been.
Yeah.
I remember when like almond milk came about and it was like you would be at a place and you'd be like, "Do you guys have almond milk?" And they go, "Oh yeah, we have almond milk, we have soy milk." And you go, "Yeah, let me try almond milk." And then it fucking sucked.
It sucks. It's not
It
good in
sucked
coffee
in your
to
coffee.
this day.
And then you would have soy milk and it would be a little bit better. You'd go, "Why did we even switch to almond milk?" And then oat milk came around and you said, "Forget all of it."
Yeah.
That's
Flip
what
over the
happened to me.
table.
You guys frick around with that Chobani extra creamy oat milk.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very good.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
you haven't
Extra
had it?
creamy.
It's. I think it's the best version of any milk, regular milk included, that I've ever had.
It's
Well,
very
I'll
good.
say it.
It's very good. And if you like the taste of oat milk, it's like
Yeah.
hard to beat for sure.
Yeah. I think I like the taste of oat milk more than cow milk, but it's been a long time since I've just had a glass of cow milk. Who here drinks cow milk to this day?
Never.
It's okay.
Not for the last
milk
couple
at all?
of years. No.
Oh, really?
I mean, I will if like it's being served. I'm being polite, but I'll never.
Yeah.
I don't buy it for myself at all.
Where are you
Yeah.
being served milk?
I don't know. That's what I'm with. Like, I feel like it's like with all food
feel
and
like
drinks.
I have-
So where like if someone's like, "Do you want this?" I'll never be like, "No, I don't do that."
Yeah,
but I'll
sure.
never buy it for myself. But yeah,
Right.
just a nice like
Interesting.
1950s
Oh,
like
yeah.
family dinner, I guess.
So Andrew's just drinking milk all the time, but just because people offer it to him.
Yeah.
Oh my
every
god.
day.
Well, people don't even realize, Andrew, is when you're going to people's homes, they go, "Okay, make sure to stock milk." Andrew drinks so much
Well,
of
Yeah,
it.
it's
I feel-
around in the
yeah.
community now that you drink
Yeah.
milk.
So much milk.
Dude,
Milk.
I would peg you as a person who would drink a lot of milk.
When I was little, I did.
I was
drank a
afraid that
lot.
you. Yeah, I thought you were gonna say yes, and I was scared.
I really
we were
give
gonna
off
maybe
that
have a
vibe of big
fight.
milk
He's
guy.
like super offended, gets really quiet.
I'm out for the rest of the pod. Actually, I was really good.
I'm gonna go get a
I'm
glass
sorry, I
of
didn't mean to
2%.
cut you off. You were talking about your childhood and your milk.
Oh
trauma.
no, it was nothing behind that other than that I drank a lot of milk. But
Yeah.
I did. My favorite milk memory, if I'm thinking about it, is did you ever do the gallon challenge of like where you try to drink a gallon of milk,
Gallon of milk in an
an hour?
My
Yeah.
rival improv team at college did that every year to raise
Whoa.
money
As
for
like an
breast cancer.
improv show, right?
Yeah, and everyone
Oh.
threw up
While you're on stage.
because
you're
yeah,
drinking.
you had to drink it while you were on stage. It
A
was-
rival improv team.
Mhm.
Okay,
Andrew's
what's
eyes are
the
so
story
wide.
there?
It's like
Were there more than 2 teams?
no.
So the other improv team.
The other improv team, my
Yeah,
team
yeah.
was called the Charles Darwin Experience. Okay.
Good.
It's not a bad name for
I
an
like
improv
it.
team,
I like
I gotta
Fine.
say.
It was made in the 90s, and it was the other team was called Comedy Corner, and they're like the longest running college comedy group in the history of the United States. I think they
Wow.
were founded in like the 70s. I think David Spade was on ASU's comedy team. I went to University of Arizona.
Okay.
And I don't think David Spade was involved in either of my
Cool, but let's just drop his name a couple
times.
times.
Can I say David Spade some more
in the
times?
state, yeah.
I have talked about him so much this week, and that is actually psychotic.
Because of Paradise?
Yes!
Yeah, that makes sense.
I kind of like his energy on the show, which is something I never thought I would say or feel. But I watched it and I said, David, I'm loving this.
He is my favorite
Did you
part so
watch?
far, yeah.
We're going to have to do a whole Paradise.
Yeah, that'll be that'll be a spin-off podcast that
Yeah.
we do off of this
We're
one.
going to start a ton of podcasts. Just
Yeah,
based on
why
what
not?
comes up.
David Spade fits like a vibe of a guy who like I certainly should have like outgrown or not like, or he should have done something publicly. Like I'm a man. Has he
I
done?
can't think of what it is, and I'm afraid to look.
Yeah,
Because I like what he did.
and the thing is, he was my favorite part of like a lot of old SNL sketches when I was like a little kid, and I loved Black Sheep and Tommy Boy, which I know Chris Farley really carries, but like he needed to have a straight man in order to like for all that to work.
No one did it better.
No one did it better. And here's the thing: recently we watched The Wrong Missy, starring Lauren Lapkus, and she is like the Chris Farley like archetype in that, and David Spade plays the straight man again, and she is phenomenal. She's so good, and he's actually just serviceable, just fine. But I remember being like, I'm gonna hate anything this guy does now because now I'm an adult and I outgrew my childhood sensibilities. Wrong, dead wrong. The Wrong Missy rules.
It rules. Yeah. Also, I want to wrap up the rivalry thing because it's really not that juicy, and I want us to feel free to move on.
You don't believe that open-ended for them to interpret it as
back.
like you talking
I'm
shit?
looping back, yeah.
I want us to bypass this, so let me bring it up one more time.
I'm gonna bring up. I'm really gonna hammer it home that we hated these guys.
Comedy corner, huh?
No, like somewhat. The story is that like somebody from the troupe, like in the '90s, like broke off and started like a new group, and they did sketch and improv, and we like just did improv, and I think then that was like honestly the main difference when it really comes down to it. So there was like, it was mostly like a fake rivalry, but there were years where like the director of my team had like kind of tension for no reason. Like there were certainly like years where it was like kind of weird, and then there were years where we're like, we're all friends and we all go to the same parties, so like might as well hang out. I like think I dated a few people from that team, and actually most of my current friends were like people who I like talk to on a more regular basis were on Comedy Corner, but like we're not on my improv team. So I really want to make sure they know.
So now you're talking about your improv team.
Yeah, that's swung around.
You've made 2 enemies already.
I'm name dropping a lot, and it's not good.
We're coming for you, Spade. We're coming for you.
Would you do the same shows, or were they booking different like spots around campus?
They were different venues and different nights. We were on Tuesday nights. I think they were on Wednesday nights, and there was like a little bit of like we didn't have shows on the same nights, but we rehearsed. We had like workshops on Wednesday nights, so we could kind of never go to their shows, which sort of sucked because like sometimes you were like, I want to go and like support them and like be a community, but you're like, well, I have to rehearse because this is like the arbitrary time we decided a couple decades ago or whatever. Like rehearsing on this night,
the same exact time slot.
Wow. Yeah.
How big was either team?
I think we had, I want to say 10. Like it was not that big
on both teams.
I'm not super familiar with the size of their teams. I think their teams were like a little bit bigger, and they like rotated people out during the shows more. Like
how often was David Spade there?
Unclear. I will have to look it up. I think never.
But look it up.
But I'm frankly not sure. I feel like someone has a claim to fame to that group, but I can't remember who. So it's probably no one.
Like someone who was from that group is famous now.
Yeah, but I don't know who.
The Comedy Sports in Indy claims Sashir Zameda as an alumni because she took like some like high school, like I think she did like a high school camp or something, like was not a feature performer.
Yeah.
But like there's like a loose affiliation, like they might not put it on a sign, but like they'll tell you like, oh, and so she's a Maida and alumni. And I'm like, well,
Not sure.
not sure she sees it that way.
But hey, she sues them for libel.
Oh, did you say for liable?
Wait, no, for libel.
Libel, slander.
Libel's the one.
That's
Libel's the
written.
one where you lie about someone.
Which one's written, which one's spoken? Slander, libel, right?
Oh.
Aren't those the two?
Yeah,
things?
yeah.
I didn't know.
And the only reason I can differentiate is from J.K. Simmons in
And
the Spider-Man series.
And you still don't know the answer. So
Uh,
that means the libel's probably written.
Yeah, I think libel's written.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Slander is spoken. When it's written, it's libel. I think that's
Slander
the quote. from-
spoken.
Okay, so she
When
could
it's
sue
written,
them for
it's libel.
both.
What do you say?
She could sue them for both.
Well, we actually have no idea if it's written down or I don't know.
To be honest, I shouldn't be talking about this. There's actually pending litigation, so this is
And you're
actually
heavily
an
involved
open
in as
case.
well.
You need to edit this out, okay? I am heavily involved in this year's.
We're live streaming. We're live streaming this right now, yeah.
Twitch, shut it down.
Were there any big indie comics that came out around the same time that you all were doing stuff there?
Like people who have achieved some sort of notoriety.
Yeah.
Tom Takar, I think has like a half hour maybe in Comedy Central. He's from Bloomington.
Yeah.
Megan Gailey she's from Indy proper, but she never did stand up there. She started in Chicago. I think those are the two like more modern. Is there? I mean, like I think like Mike Epps is from there or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's like
Before us.
ages ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why can I place who Mike Epps is?
He's in a lot of films.
Give me one. Or two.
I can't think of one off the top of my head, but you would recognize him for sure.
Yeah, I don't know actually.
Oh, God. I'm sorry I asked.
He does
Well-
a lot of bit parts, I feel like.
Well, that's the thing is like he was probably like performing in indie in the 80s or the early 90s or something, and he's like so far off my radar like in stand-up terms.
Yeah, yeah.
But he had like a hour-long Comedy Central special like not that long ago.
Yeah.
Maybe like last 10 years.
I feel like his name is familiar to me, and that's why I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
why?
That's what comedy fame really is.
Mhm.
Even in this circle, we're like the absolute experts, and we're like Mike Epps.
Yeah.
But like, you ask like a regular person, you're like, name any comedian. They're like Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
That's the one.
That is the one.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you guys do today?
I just worked today.
Oh, that's Monday.
Yeah.
Worked. Did some laundry while I worked at home, which was fun. Really nothing else. My roommate's gone, so it was very quiet at my apartment today.
Do you watch TV while you work?
No. I did a little bit, but I don't do it anymore.
You don't. Yeah.
That's tough because my setup's in my room, and like I don't have a TV in my room that
Okay.
has like cable. I have like a what do you call that? The Chromecast in my room, but that would be really extra. I feel like to throw on Netflix while I was doing stuff. But
I mean,
Come on. How else are you going to watch TV while you work?
do you both watch TV while you work?
My desk faces away from the TV in my living room, so like if I have to like bring my laptop to the couch, and it's like if I have like literally no work to do because I can't really like I can't multitask really, and like I can't like turn around and watch it. I don't know. I have no legs to stand on. I can't come for you.
I mean, I totally do as often as it's possible, but mostly like I will recognize pretty quickly like I'm not getting shit done. So and then I'll be racked with guilt. But if I'm ever working like a really long day, it's like fuck it, I'm watching Avatar this whole time because it's like I'm gonna be working till like 9 p.m. Like might as well terrible. Might as well crush a whole season of Legend of Korra.
Yeah.
Dang, that's pretty intense. I didn't realize you were having that kind of stretch. Like your work days extend that late sometimes. Is that often, or is that?
Well, when I really want to watch Legend of Korra, the days stretch kind of long. No, that's more recent. But I'm trying to figure out how to have like a lifestyle that supports like working when I can and like living like just like living a life that doesn't revolve around like a routine work schedule, because then you can like travel and, you know, like you can like go to things, you know, which if you're like working all day and then performing at night and you just like have no opportunity to do stuff. So it's like, let's squeeze in a couple of hours work at the airport and then just get the fuck out of town and not tell anybody. I don't work anywhere. I don't have a job. This is never going on. My name is David Spade. I work for Netflix. Fire me from movies.
This is good. Yeah, let's take another.
This is good stuff. Has anyone here watched? Well, I know you haven't, Joe, but have either of you watched any of Cooking with Paris on Netflix?
Not yet.
It's the perfect show. It's Paris Hilton.
Yeah.
Cooking with other celebrities. That's it. That's the premise of the show. It's so deeply self-aware. It's very funny. She's very funny. She's very charming. And a lot of her, like the first episode is Kim Kardashian, who I'm, like, not really a fan of. And I was like, whatever. But, like, watching them together is so fun because they've been friends since they were teenagers. So
Really?
they, like, which I didn't really know.
I
Yeah.
didn't.
Like, they've just been, like, socialite friends forever. So they, like, reminisce in a very weird, specific way. Where they're like, remember Ibiza? And you're like, what? Happening? And they're like, that was crazy. We slept in that tent in the front yard. And I'm like, what are you talking about? But they're just, like, making recipes. And, like, the production design is really high. And it's really funny. And, like, I feel like it's what... I don't watch the Great British Baking Show, but everyone screams to watch it, and I think Cooking with Paris is like my Great British Baking Show, and I figured that out this week, and I'm so happy. And
Nice.
And actually, I found out about it from Kennedy.
I think that is who I heard that from.
She was like, "You gotta watch," and I was like, "I do," and then I did, and I was like,
I did.
I did. Yeah.
Kennedy Baldwin, friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod, friend of ours, playing with us on.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Saturday. Cool.
Nice.
I didn't want to mess up the date on the podcast.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Is it a YouTube show or is it like a Netflix show or like whatever some other streaming service?
It's a Netflix show.
Okay.
Am I allowed to say Netflix?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Cool.
That'd be crazy if they came for us.
That would be
Just for
crazy.
saying,
Also,
we're
because
like-
I'm like advertising a show, and they're
Yes.
like, "Yeah,
You
check
guys
it out."
want people to say your name.
On the wall, you just have like a list of all the corporations you're not allowed to say by name. You're like it's Nortflix.
Yeah, we have a code.
Substitutions,
Yes.
yeah.
Paulo. YouTube.
Was the second one supposed to be Hulu?
Yeah.
No. Shh.
I actually didn't know what the second one was supposed to be, and I'm just playing along. Totally missed it.
Listen, it's gotta be close, but not too close.
It's gotta be a little confusing. You're right.
Was she the celebrity recently who was like, either said like, because I'm very aware of the character I was playing my entire career, and like I know what I'm doing, like before the show came out, or am I making that up?
I didn't hear about that, but like
I've been told that.
yeah, like she
Seems right.
She obviously, like, especially on, like, The Simple Life, she was playing, like, her and Nicole Richie were playing characters, and they were doing a very good job. Nicole Richie's, like, in some show, I can't remember the name of, and I only thought it was okay, so I'm not gonna try to remember, but, like, she was in a show in the past, like, 5 years, and I, like, saw her act, and I was like, you're a great actor. You're great at this. This is great. You're doing a great job, and you always have been doing a great job, and I'm waking up to this now. And so this feels like the other part of the chapter. I'm, like, obsessed with Paris Hilton right now. I listened to a podcast about her sex tape, like, her quote-unquote sex tape that came out, which was really, like, her ex-boyfriend, like, leaked a video of them having sex as, like, revenge, and America treated it like she was a whore, and like I mean, it was just like Britney Spears style backlash, like just America being like, ew, yuck, and Paris Hilton being like, haha, I guess I'm 19 in that video, like, yeah, and like years later she came out and she was like, well, she has a documentary that I've yet to watch, pretty excited because she's my new favorite thing, and she like talks about like, yeah, if that came out today, like, the reception would be completely different of, like, if if a video of me having sex with my partner that was never intended to be shared with the public was like leaked by him today, there would be like federal consequences like that. Revenge porn, I believe, is federally illegal. I think. Don't quote me on that.
Oh, there's like there's definitely
But,
people who are getting
yeah.
like in big trouble for it nowadays.
Yeah,
But
and it was like not that long ago,
is
and
it,
her
like-
tape was leaked. So
is it like
it's
past the
crazy.
statute of limitations or whatever? She can't like get any.
I think so, probably, because I don't even think it was a law.
We
when
should
it
just
came
beat
out.
that guy up. Can you
Someone should.
Can you prosecute someone for a law that gets passed after they break it?
Like retroactively?
Yes.
That seems crazy.
That does seem.
I don't think even though I want this guy dead, to be clear, I don't think that is a good idea.
Yeah,
I don't think I
seems-
like that.
That seems like muddy.
To retroactively apply laws?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what?
If it wasn't a law when you.
Oh yeah, I mean that doesn't seem
Broke
like a
it,
good
yeah.
idea. I'm just like curious, like if the intensity of the
Wow.
crime is like, you know, like respected at the level of
Yeah.
its like, you know, maybe consequences. If people be like, you know what, I know that what you thought you were doing was super chill, but we all hate you for it now,
Yeah.
and we're gonna do something about that.
I don't know.
And for the record, I don't think anyone should go to prison, so this guy shouldn't go to prison.
No.
Yeah,
Mm.
But
we
he
should be.
Well, I mean, who is it?
I don't know. I would have to look.
You're a nobody, you fucking idiot.
Yeah,
dude,
you're no one. I
fucking
don't even know who
loser.
you
Probably
are.
did.
You're not a friend
Everybody
of the
knows who
podcast.
Yeah, everyone knows who Paris Hilton is, and nobody knows who he is.
That's
so.
true.
His revenge didn't work very well.
Not at all.
And she's amazing. And that's all.
And
She's
getting-
40.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
How old
It makes sense.
are the Kardashians? All 42,
They must be.
or like of that
Around
generation of the
there.
Kardashians? I
Yeah.
guess.
Are the Kardashians chuggy?
Huh?
I don't know.
Oh yeah. it's chuggy not to know what chuggy is, right?
Oh, it's
Or
gotta be
whatever.
absolutely.
Can
It's what
you
the
take it away?
it's what the Gen Z calls millennial bullshit is chuggy.
Chugi?
Yeah, chuggy. Like skinny jeans are chuggy
Okay, yeah.
because they're like, I don't know what they're like. What the fucking elder generation wears.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
what Gen Z is like popping off on.
Uh huh.
How old are the oldest millennials now?
The
Very-
oldest millennials, they're in their 40s.
Like is
In the
Paris Hilton
40s?
a millennial?
Huh?
Is Paris Hilton a millennial?
Yeah, probably on like the tail end of it.
Whoa.
Or sorry,
Bleeding.
end of it. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, I think like millennials start like as early as like the fucking mid 80s, maybe early 80s.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Like there are some millennials who like were in college and didn't have cell phones. And like the youngest millennials, I think like it goes to like 96 maybe is like the youngest millennials.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm one of the youngest millennials. 93,
Mm-hmm.
not 96.
I think we kind of all are because it's like a 15 or 20 year thing and we're
Yeah.
all on the
Back-
tail end of
back
it.
half.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, but are like the Kardashians and like the obsession with the Kardashians, because that's not something that I care about at all. But it's something that people cared about around me. But if I was like 10 years younger than me, I certainly wouldn't understand or care.
But like, do you care about like Kendall? Like that's what I don't know. Is like,
Do I care about Kendall?
No, I mean like, if
Do they
you're-
care about
If
Kendall?
you're 17 right now,
Mm.
like,
And that's kind of in the
like,
same ballpark.
yeah.
Yeah, is there
'cause
anybody
the Kardashians
older?
are generational.
Yeah, because they have their own like Gen Z stars of like the TikTok, like
Yeah.
those teams. But yeah, do they care about like even the YouTubers ahead of them? Not even like the mainstream celebrities, but like early 20s. I don't know. We should get a Gen Z person here to talk.
I can't think of a single YouTuber.
Okay, a Gen Z person would be like the oldest one would be like 20, what, like 5, 24?
Is Kennedy Gen Z or is she a millennial?
I think she's a millennial.
Good.
She's
my,
close.
my brother might be Gen Z, but definitely doesn't act like it based on the stereotypes of Gen Zs.
Mm-hmm.
In what
Well,
way?
Well, like that's the thing. Stereotypes are always wrong,
Yeah.
right? But like, and
Right.
like the millennial stereotypes, there's like 1,000 of them when we were like growing up, and I was always like, what? And then now, like, none of it makes sense. What's your? But
Mhm.
your brother, you're talking about a teacher, right?
Yeah, he was a teacher. Yeah, I feel like he's very removed from social media and stuff. And I guess that is my
Oh.
main affiliation in my head is like very much online and understanding the internet
Oh,
so
sure,
much better
yeah.
than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I was at the Naval Academy
Mhm.
this past week because my sister lives in
Flex.
Annapolis, and we were like on like the Naval Academy's like campus, and I was just like we were like going through, and there was like some fucking like, they're college students, but they're like midshipmen, and they were just like taking selfies like on the road. Like they were taking selfies like in front of something. I'm not like shitting on them, but it like clicked that like none of them were alive for 9/11. They're in the fucking military. None of them were alive for 9/11. They're 18 years old.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, isn't that fucking crazy?
That's the whole reason wars exist.
I mean, in my
there was
lifetime,
never war before 2001.
I mean, that's how they justify all the ones that I've been alive for.
Yeah,
so
it's
like,
true though.
Yeah.
On a serious note, yeah, America really also makes it feel that way. Like there have been no wars before 2001.
Yeah.
Right. Only justified ones.
Right.
Right. Everything before 2001 is justified because of what happened in 2001. 9/11.
Also the date of our show.
Oh yeah, that's
Kind
right.
of a show plug.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Our show's on at 9/11.
Is that going to play into the set at all, or what do you think?
I hope not,
Starting
but
to
I'm
plan it.
afraid it'll will its way in.
Kennedy famously told us that she doesn't remember 9/11, which is one of my favorite things to talk about Kennedy. And it's one of the. I think Brooke's gonna swallow some water into her lungs. Is one of the most shocking things someone I've ever been friends with has told me.
Yeah.
Is like, yeah, I just don't remember that. And she was like, I remember 9/11 was a thing, but the way she said it, it was around, I guess, but
They're still using that as and by they, I don't know what I mean.
the global they.
The global they, the people who live on this earth, I guess I mean. I don't even want to say what I was going to say.
You have to.
People are still I feel like I've heard it a couple times recently, used as a reference point for being do I remember where I was when this happened? I mean, do I remember where I was when 9/11 happened? Of course I remember. That kind of framing. People are still using it, but there really are cognizant human beings
So many
walking
people,
around where
adults.
that reference doesn't work anymore. We gotta get a new one. We gotta get a new
9/11.
COVID.
Oh my god.
COVID.
Oh
There
my
was a
gosh.
Capitol riot, which was kind of a huge deal
That
that
was
got brushed
big.
over.
That was
Yeah.
bad, but I don't actually remember where I must have been home.
Yeah, I was
Because
at
everyone
home.
was home.
Besides them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone was kind of chilling at home. It was January. It was winter in Chicago, so we were
Dude,
probably.
we see you guys at the Capitol. We're all home watching.
We're all at work right now. Get a fucking job. What are you doing? Storming the Capitol.
Come on.
And I don't mean to joke. I'm actually very pro insurgency with the Capitol. I was very pro 1/6. I love.
No.
Have you seen those not conspiracy theories? It's actually more evidential. A lot of the people who were there have IMDb profiles, and a lot of them there's some
Wait, what are you about to tell me?
there's a lot of speculation that people who are involved in especially anti-vaxxers and anti-mask protesters that if you look these people up, they have acting profiles out there. They have agents representing them
And being hired by.
well, that's the speculation is maybe they're being hired to do this, and people are just this person is an actor. They have a profile on an acting website where they're looking for work, and they are at protests and rallies 7 days a week, and just on TV spouting bullshit. How do they make a living? And
What?
yeah, and people the very famous dude who wore a fucking animal skin at on the Capitol riot. He's an actor that was his career at one point.
What? Who? I mean,
It could be the same Scientology. It could just be people who are just
Yeah.
fucking
is
brainwashed.
it a crazy coincidence or who's paying them? Who? You know?
The global they.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The
David
people
Spade.
who were- David Spade.
David
Spade.
Spade.
We're gonna cancel David
Comedy
Spade
corner.
on this fucking podcast.
Yeah, it needs to be done.
It's a good start. We've said nothing that he's done wrong and just said his name a bunch.
He
And
also
complimented his acting.
Yeah.
He has that crazy story where his assistant tried to kill him too.
That
What?
story is crazy.
It's so insane.
I've not heard this.
Yeah, he had an assistant who showed up in the middle of the night and tried to kill him, and he had to escape out of his house, come back in, call the police.
David
Yeah.
Spade as famous David Spade
Yes.
Yeah.
assistant.
Yeah.
Like, how long ago?
10 years.
Yeah.
maybe?
The peak of his fame.
That's
maybe?
nuts.
Yeah.
Not peak of his fame, like when he was already like well established.
Yeah.
So like,
Wow.
yeah, that dude
Whoa.
like wanted the story David Spade told is like basically this guy was his assistant and David Spade started finding out that he was like kind of calling in favors like on behalf of David Spade, but like for himself.
Mhm.
Whoa.
And like, because he would be like, I'll get like a phone call or like, my assistant would tell me, hey, this person like wants to offer you like Lakers tickets. And he'd be like, oh no, I can't go. And like, eventually like the assistant started like being like, but I can go. And he
Yeah.
would take those tickets, but eventually started being like, I'm going to like call that guy and get Lakers tickets,
Mhm.
like on behalf of David Spade
Yeah.
and then go like this assistant. And he was like, oh, that's not cool.
Mhm.
But then like the dude like really tried to get into like a movie or like a writing job through David Spade. And he was like,
Whoa.
I like, this isn't part of our relationship right now. And then he woke up in the middle of the night and the dude was standing over him in his room.
What?
Oh my
And he
God.
had to like flee into a closet and there was a shotgun involved. Somebody had a shotgun.
What?
Yeah, there was the guy was a
God.
big guy. It was like a physical altercation, but he got out of the house, and then I think, or was like under his bed or
Oh
something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But
He
I
like
know
locked himself in
came
his
out.
closet, and then he had to flee. And I think the guy had a shotgun, and there was like a momentary like standoff.
Oh my
like,
God.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a crazy story. He tells it. There's like a couple different clips of him telling it
That
on
is
like different
nuts.
radio shows and interviews and stuff over time. But
Oh my God.
and people always interview about him and like try to make jokes and do real life. And he at least the one I saw, he was kind of like, yeah, it isn't super funny to me
It's
because it was
actually
really scary. But I'm glad you're
life-threatening,
getting a
but-
kick out of this for your interview.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, that's like deeply, deeply traumatizing for the rest of your forever.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Oh my God. I know he's done something wrong, but I can't remember what it is. I just know because our friend Kayla posted not that long ago, I feel like an Instagram story where she kind of broke down why she's mad at David Spade, but I can't remember why.
well, she was getting Lakers tickets on his behalf.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
oh,
he ran
oh,
away.
right. She was his assistant. That's
Oh.
right. She was mad at him because he fired her and she was going to kill him. Yeah. The
You
Instagram story
hear-
was her breaking into his house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot. And it was actually 10 years ago. It wasn't the
Yeah,
other day.
Early Twitter. Early Twitter.
Yeah.
It was actually very funny from her perspective.
Yeah.
If you read her version of it, it's super funny.
It's hysterical.
Yeah. Oh my God. That is. I can't believe that I've never heard of that story.
Yeah, me neither.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I kind of can't believe it, but I am.
I mean, that's
Oh,
that's
whoa.
nuts. Yeah.
I'm glad you had also heard of it because I only remembered sprinklings of details and didn't want to bring it up earlier because I was like, I don't know much about this story. And
Yeah.
then this time it felt right. I'm glad.
Good
you were
job,
there.
team.
Yeah, great work.
Thanks.
You guys, good work. Wow.
I have a question that's been intriguing me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think what in your life do you think you could win a gold medal in? And so like something that you think that you're like the top
Mhm,
0.01% at. And it
Yeah.
could be anything as small as anything.
Improv.
yeah. Performing and being funny. Yeah.
Performing on stage at Logan's
Yeah.
Improv.
A comedian. I'm the best comedian. Yeah.
For comedy, yeah. I'll think of another answer.
I used to think like it's like one this like a childhood belief that like sustained for long enough that like I have like memories of it like popping in my head in college and being like, oh yeah, I like thought like every person was like the best at one thing.
Yeah.
Like you might be the best at being like, oh, fresh water bottle, like tap it with my finger and
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
cap like spins and falls
And just
off.
no one
and
can
like
do that
and everyone's like,
consistently, yeah.
damn, dude,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
really do that.
Well, that's what I'm at. Do you have
Yeah.
something like that you feel?
There was something at that moment when I
Uh-huh.
remember in college, I was working in this job where I had to take books out of boxes. And the way that you do that is you would slice the top open and then just like tip the box over and lift it up. And then all the books would just like stay and they would just like stack up.
Mm-hmm.
And I got so
It's
fucking
real,
good at it.
Mhm.
real
I was
clean.
just like with keys and flip it over and like lift it up and just
Jeez, dude.
like 6 clean rows of books.
Not
and I
even
was
a
like,
knife.
it's like, am I the best in the world at this
Dude,
thing?
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe.
But I feel like if I went on YouTube, I could probably find people who are really fucking good at
It's just a
that.
ton of people.
Yeah.
YouTube.
That feels like something that someone is like diabolical at, like doing it with 2 hands, you know.
Yeah, that's a good one though. And you didn't even have a knife; you used the key.
I used the key, yeah, 100%.
Pretty intense, just to make it more difficult on yourself. You're like, it's too simple.
I don't even know. They should have supplied us with knives. I don't know. I didn't have a box cutter or anything. I was using ingenuity to use my key. Like other people were like ripping the boxes open with their hands and like pulling the tape off individually, and I was like,
it's disgusting. Yeah.
3 clean cuts. I bet you there's a guy who's doing it in 1, right? Samurai sword to lift the whole top of the box off.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
I'm wondering though, like, there's got to be some kind of box standard. There's got to be. Well, I guess there's no tool standard.
You mean for the competition?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When I worked at Papa John's, we had one of the guys at our store that could like take the flat cardboard pizza boxes and do the full fold in like one motion like that. So when we'd like make the boxes and fold them in, he could just do this one sweeping motion and powerfully do it. Like
nuts.
they did like Domino's commercials with
Yeah,
their
I've seen
competitions.
those guys making them real quick.
Yeah, so I had a guy at my store who could do that, and it was really cool. And it was awesome because like we had to fold boxes, never get hyped up and be like, "Oh man!" And then he'd just start cranking through. And be like,
so
"Oh
you
my
guys
God."
didn't have to do it.
Yeah. It was. I remember being like, I was in high school. I was like, that is pretty impressive to watch him just like run through a stack of boxes in seconds. It took me like a minute and a half.
I wonder if there's like a competition. Sorry, what'd you say?
Oh, I was asking if it took you a minute and a half to do one box.
Oh yeah, more like that for me. I was very particular.
Pretty complicated.
Yeah.
Wow.
I recently watched this documentary about the Nathan's annual hot dog eating competition,
Whoa.
which the Kobayashi is very famous.
Yeah, Joey Chestnut.
Joey Chestnut is the American. Amazing documentary, truly so cool. They interview both of those guys at length, so you get to hear like from both of them what it's like to be like part of the greatest rivalry of competitive eating of all time. Spoiler alert: there's lots of intrigue, and Kobayashi like. He like has the hot dogs and the buns and the water like in front of him and explains like his process of like how he does it so fast. It's awesome. It's so cool.
Like
he didn't even eat like weeks before the event. He hadn't had a hot dog until like 2 weeks before he came to the United States, because he would just like he would train like the whole process of like eating it, but he never even like ate one. Like the whole process that he was training like involves everything until he like shoves the hot dogs into his mouth. And then he would just like not eat it, just like spit it out. Because it was all about like taking the bun off, dipping the bun in water while also breaking the hot dogs. Like that whole motion, you want to take each one of those actions and break it down into like one module of like, this is what I need to do. And then do that one thing as efficiently as possible. So it's like each step has to be done as quickly as you can. Because he was like, if I'm slow to that stuff, then my brain will like catch up to the fact that I'm pounding hot dogs. But if you do all that stuff really fast, your brain, like your appetite doesn't realize like, I'm getting satiated.
It's like when you eat a big meal and then you're like ready for dessert, but you don't realize that you're full yet.
Yes,
on
exactly.
like a very fast level.
Exactly.
Whoa.
So if you eat slow, if you're like at a dinner when there's lots of conversation, I feel like I'll just like not even eat, because I start eating and my appetite just like slowly goes away as I like talk. And that's like, this is the opposite of that. It's like, how quickly can you get a ton of shit in your body before it realizes what's happening?
Stop that.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So he doesn't, I mean, I want to watch the documentary, but there's no like stomach expansion training or anything like that?
He, like, the way he trains, not totally. I think he was like super gifted at it, and like probably like, you know, like eating a ton comes into it at a certain point. But he weighs like 145 pounds. Yeah. And he's like he's not a big guy.
Oh, yeah.
Joey Chestnut's like big. He's a big man.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Joey Chestnut, but he's got like big muscles now. Like Joey Chestnut doesn't look bad, but he's like a big guy. But Kobayashi, he's like skinny and he's like he would be fit for like, you know, he'd be a skinny soccer player. Joey Chestnut would be like a small tight end. Like that's the difference.
Wow.
It's a really cool documentary.
And that is on Hulu, on Netflix.
that's on
ESPR
20 for 40. That's ESPR 20 for 40.
ESPR. Coming to you live on ESPR.
Can't even say the numbers.
We brought it up earlier, but Kim Possible Whopper.
Oh, yeah.
Show coming up.
It's happening, yeah.
9/11.
9/11.
Never forget.
Never forget the Kim Possible Whoppers, the Saturday show.
I'm actually so glad that we're doing it on 9/11 and Kenny does not remember 9/11 as a kid. It's one of the funniest.
She'll make she'll make some new memories. I guess.
Our suggestion will be we'll have
Where
Kennedy
were
ask.
you?
She'll say
sorry everyone.
She'll say I was 5 when 9/11 happened. What's something you don't remember?
That's got to be it now.
Funny.
The team. How did the team come about? That's performing on Saturday.
Well, we used to run a little show at LSI called Open Stage. And by we, I mean Kennedy and I were part of like the founding producers of that show when the theater opened. And we, I don't know, I think I'd been running the show for like I have no concept.
Not quite a year.
Not quite a year?
Because I joined in August. And you guys have been running it since like November or something, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I forgot. Sometimes I forget how young the theater is in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
And I didn't know Joe super well, but Kennedy had been doing stuff at Second City with you and was like, I think she was like, he's so funny and he's so smart and I think he would be like a great addition to this team. And you were already a producer of the Friday show.
Yep. Yeah.
So we said, okay, and we brought you on, and then we started a group chat, and we texted every day since.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably true, yeah.
Pretty much. And I think the Impossible Whopper had come out around the same time, and I think maybe the first time we had a show, I got one on the way to the theater, and I think we just like riffed. I don't know who came up with the idea of Kim Possible Whopper, but god damn it, it's smart, right?
That's a great improv name. Charles Darwin Experience, Kim Possible Whopper. Yeah.
The all-time great improv names: Charles Darwin Experience, Comedy Corner, David Spade. And then it was just us three, and there was like Open Stage. It was 3 of us, but like occasionally, you know, there would be just 2 of us there. So there was like a 3-person configuration, which was Kim Possible Whopper. And then there were 3 2-person configurations of all of us. And like me and Kennedy were Bingo, which was a sketch we wrote at Second City. And that one's not a super clever name, but it means a lot to us because we loved that sketch.
Kennedy and I are Hot Girl Summer because... Come on.
Self-explanatory.
No explanation needed.
And then Brooke and I are a man carrying a door.
Because we were like, oh, we're the only 2 here, and we need to just arbitrarily come up with a name before we go on stage, and a man walked by carrying a door.
A full door.
Outside of the theater. And then we said, what the hell? and then we said, I guess that's it.
I gotta say, a man carrying a door is an improv team name that draws genuine disgust from the audience.
It's not a good name.
It's not a good name, but I don't think it deserves the scrutiny from, like, I will say their name and I will see people furrow their brow, like, what the fuck is that?
They scowl.
They're like, I'm already at an improv show. I'm skeptical, okay?
Stop. Yeah.
Make a joke. Make me laugh. A man carrying a door? What is this bullshit? Postmodern garbage.
Yeah.
Sentence can't be a name.
The sentence can't be a name.
But I think the Kim Possible Whopper on that Open Stage, I mean, we mostly did sets for like 9 other people who were all performing on the show, but I was a big fan of that work we did.
Yeah.
We mostly did like mono scenes, which was fun, and they're like, you know, all 10 minutes long, which is fun, and then we all like stick in a character usually, which is a good time. But we also like did a bunch of other experimental and fun things in that show too.
Yeah, I mean that Open Stage is like a great show to like try out whatever you want to, kind of, and like that was always what we encouraged, I think, in people who came to the theater looking to be a part of the show. And yeah, it was fun to be able to like also get on stage once a week and do that. And like there's also like a weird freedom to it because like it was not often that our peers came to that show, like, which is like a weird way to talk about people who you're like your friends who do improv with you, but like it was like a lot of people we didn't always know outside of Open Stage, or like some students would come, and that was like always really cool. But it also kind of like took some of the pressure off because we were like, oh, we're kind of just like getting on stage and messing around, and like
And everyone was there for that too.
Right.
You know? It's like same thing.
Yeah.
And like those audiences are always like very supportive and like like people laughed and that was always great. And now I guess we're a team. We're a little team.
I think my favorite thing about, because like open stage is not lower stakes than other improv for any particular reason, because it's not. Like I think we treated it we like took it seriously, that we were like, we're going to do a good job on this show. Because if you like phone it in as the producers of an open stage, it's like everyone on the show is going to think like, oh, this show doesn't even matter to them, you know? Yeah. And also like there were times where, you know, we had plenty of shows where like everyone would get up there and have like an opportunity to have like a good set. And if people like, you know, did the things that are important, they would like have one. And it was fun to watch. Like, you know, people who are like, you know, coming on the Wednesday night, they have no expectations. And like, you just see them like commit to what they're doing and, you know, make good choices and like and get big laughs, and you're like, hell yeah, that's great, good for them. But then there would be shows where it would be like, you know, you watch like people make choices where you're like, everyone in the room is just like waiting for them to say like something racist or sexist because they're like on the borderline of it, and you're just like, oh my god, don't make a gay joke, and everyone is living in that space, and like the whole set is bad because that's just like where they brought that show. And that happened too, which is like not to say that, you know, everyone should go do that show, and like it's so fun.
It's on Sundays now, right?
Yeah, Sundays at 7.
Going? Can you talk about it on the pod?
Yeah, it's been great. The first 2 weeks first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
3
weeks, yeah.
I think at least 3.
I know, time's but yeah. So this past Sunday was super fun. It was like great show, and then the first one was great. I think I missed week 2. There's 3 weeks total so far.
But my favorite thing was like, you know, we'd have shows where it'd be like tougher, you know, it's people who are like newer to improv, just trying to get on stage and try something out, you know, and to like get on stage and like still like just commit to like relationships and like commit to our choices and like still like put on a good show and feel like, yeah, we like created the space where like everyone had the opportunity to do well here. And like I knew that because we were doing well in those shows, like good or bad. And I think that's because like we make each other laugh a lot. Like, man, there's nothing I like more than fucking making Kennedy Baldwin break on stage.
Yeah, I love stuff making Kennedy laugh.
Yeah, and I think she feels the same way, which is like perfect.
That's
like,
kind of our approach, I think, to those shows, because, and I think part of that was like our friendship, and part of that was, I mean, I think the friendship too is a little bit like chicken or the egg. Like, do we play that way because we're friends, or are we friends because we play that way? Like whatever.
Sure.
Our friendship, and also like the like, yeah, like not low stakes, but just like supportive, relaxed environment of that room was very much like, yeah, if we just like make each other laugh back and forth on stage, like everyone's gonna laugh, and we're gonna be off stage in 6 minutes, and it doesn't matter. And like there's not like talent agents here, or like people who paid to come watch this show. Like it's really mostly just like performers. And what the hell was I gonna say? I was making a point.
I have a really good one lined up if you want me to.
Yeah, take over. Go ahead, take over.
Well, like truly, I do think the friendship is a big part of it, because like I think the most like fun improv sets to watch are like where there's like complex relationships that like you watch people just engage in like their relationship, like that would exist outside of that show, and like. We had friendships like outside of that show. And so like when we were making jokes like to make each other laugh, like yeah, they are jokes that are like, they're not inside jokes between us, but it's like, oh, here's a thing that I think is so specific that it will like really get Brooke to fucking like break in this scene. And the thing is like, if I say that on stage, it's presenting as like a very complex relationship to the audience, because they're like, oh, this is like more dynamic than just like the details we've already seen. Like they're pulling from things that are like real to these characters.
Yeah, they both understand.
Yeah, our rehearsals were kind of just like our group text that was happening at all times, and we didn't like rehearse. We just got on stage and played every week, and then just talked about everything we could possibly talk about. Otherwise, it was like, oh, we should get our group text together for producer stuff, and it very quickly became whatever we want to talk about.
On one set.
Now we actually have, in quarantine, we realized we needed 3 separate chains. So now we have Kim Possible Whopper, which is just general stuff.
Fun, general. It was the producer chat, like, and we would definitely communicated professionally about, like, you know, oh, I'm gonna be late. Can you open the thing? Like, you know, like, hey, when you get here, can you go grab some paper towels? Like, we would like communicate about that. But
and now we have also Impossible Whopper, which is just food pictures, and Cat Possible Whopper, which is any animal photo you want. Just with the 3 threads.
And how active are those two?
I would say they're all. I would say Impossible Whopper has tapered off a little bit because I think everyone's got some cooking fatigue. But I would say Cat Possible Whopper and Kim Possible Whopper are both pretty even.
Yeah. And often, like, if you ever send a message, like, I don't think any of us sends a message in the wrong thread and doesn't immediately self-correct and go, whoops, wrong one.
And then
Sorry, let me clean it up.
Nobody ever has to be like, hey, Brooke, maybe some of those pictures in Cat Possible Whopper. Like,
are you eating this cat?
I will open up my phone and they'll be like, 3 texts Kim Possible Whopper, 2 texts Cat Possible. And I'll look and it'll be like 2 pictures of Frank and Beans, are the 2 cats, and then I'll be like, whoops, wrong thread. And then I'll open up the other thread and it'll be the same 2 pictures.
It's just the 3 of us. There are
Keep it tight.
no other differences between the threads.
The important part, though, is like, occasionally we have had to reference information in these, and it is much easier to find if they're in their correct place.
Yeah, like a file.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is like a live filing system.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are there really only 3? I feel like there was one more.
There's only 3, but
are you sure?
It feels like there should be more.
If there's more, I'm gonna send a correction. Will you please print it?
We'll print
absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
We're going back into corrections on all the episodes.
We make sure everything is factually correct.
Perfect.
At all times.
At that point in time.
Yeah.
So like next week, if you listen and some of the information has changed, we have to I'm just gonna be in here all day, just being like, and Joe, and just like footnotes, and Joe did talk about, and they added a thread, and it's gonna be over the audio too, so you can't understand either one.
A director's cut of the podcast.
We looked up David Spade. He was bad. We had to cut all the David Spade stuff. So just bleeped out.
It was bad.
Part of me is like, do I text Kayla right now and be like, give me all the stuff you got on David Spade? I'm gonna read it live.
Yeah.
But I don't think we have time.
Time's up.
No, because here's the problem. If you do that right now, we find out that he was bad. Like, this whole thing has to restart.
That's true.
Yeah,
we went hard on the David Spade content, which is hilarious because I thought we were going to talk about Taco Bell this whole time because we stopped at Taco Bell on the way here.
We didn't talk about it once.
And we didn't talk about it once.
No.
Well, this isn't a catch-all, but I did do his Wikipedia. There's no controversies section.
There's no controversy.
Whoa.
Which does not excuse him or his behaviors that he may or may not have done. But at least Wikipedia didn't find it.
If you search Walt Disney on Wikipedia, there'll be like 3 sections for various parts of like bigotry and racism. So like,
so he's not Walt Disney bad yet.
He's not Walt Disney bad.
It's not documented, at least.
It's not documented.
Hey, and that's good. That's actually good.
Sounds like you really want David Spade to have done something bad.
I think he might have. And I just want that to be on the record. But I don't know what. And it's because I can't remember or it hasn't happened yet. It's one of those.
What if you
or it happened and we don't know about it.
Yeah. What if you like went back and looked at the text and it was like David Duchovny, like a full different person?
Well, I'm pretty sure it was David Spade.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm 99% sure it was David Spade.
Well, we will. I'm sure we will find out. And I'm gonna expect a follow up.
If we find another, we find another thread. Yeah. Oh, about this is us talking about the seriousness of.
Yeah, we do like what's the Smith family where like the red table or whatever, and like we come back and talk about it. What's that?
Oh, I have no idea what that is, but I would love to support this.
Yeah, me too.
I'm on board, but this is remember when I remember the David Spade thing. I don't remember
big
the
red table.
Smith family, like Mr.
Like
and
Will
Mrs.?
Smith's family.
Oh, I knew exactly what you're talking about.
Wait, what?
Red Table Talk Show.
Yeah.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yes, and
Willow.
there was like
The Smiths.
Yeah, I couldn't remember
I'm thinking
either
of
of
a
their names. I
different
don't remember
family.
Will Smith, but I didn't know if it was connected.
They like aired grievances.
I'm thinking of a different family. I was thinking about. I think I still know what you're talking about, but I was very specifically thinking of a clip I watched recently of Demi Moore and one of the children she shares with Bruce Willis on some, actually maybe they were on the Red Table Talk as guests, and like so they have they had 3 children from their marriage. I kind of did a deep dive into their marriage recently.
Sounds like it.
And I think the youngest daughter and Demi, like, were not speaking for a long time. Demi Moore was also either an alcoholic or a drug addict for a while, like on and off.
You're throwing out a lot of
I know.
accusations.
I know. But she's sober now.
Okay.
But they talked about, like, how their relationship was, like, in the toilet, essentially, but then they, like, repaired it, and that they're, like, on the mend. It was, like, very interesting to, like, watch, like, the daughter speak very openly about, like, basically, like, hating her mother, like, while she was sitting next to her, and then being like, and then we moved on. And I saw it very vividly in my mind when you were, like, the table. And now we're here.
So that's a show, and the Smiths were just on it.
I think it's the Jada Pinkett Smith. I don't know if she's the main person, but they, like, air grievances, and that's where, like, that was where that
makes sense.
when they
Is
were
it a
not
Yub Tub
together.
show or
What'd you say?
is it a Yub Tub show?
I think it's Yub Tub. I've never actually seen it, but I feel like that
None of us have, to
just
be
going
clear.
real loose. You know what? It's a podcast. Who cares?
We're talking about a lot of stuff we don't. I've
was
said so
the-
many things.
I think we talked about nothing that we know about yet.
Yeah.
That
I
was
don't know
the
anything.
entanglement comment when it was like they were like, were you with someone else when you were with Will Smith? And she was like, wasn't it entanglement? Was that the term that they used?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm
I actually
really-
don't know. what
I
you're talking
remember seeing a picture of Will Smith crying, and I think that is probably from that, right?
I know the answer to your question now. The Olympic event that I could get a gold medal in.
What is it?
And it is a sport, which I think is bold because I could
actual
probably
sport.
Google it and find people who are so good at it.
Okay, but you're gonna just.
But I
claim
played
it.
this game in Luxembourg, which is where my grandmother is from, and it is it's like a variation on bowling called Kalenspielen, which basically just means like throw ball. Like that's like loosely the translation, but it is essentially like you're bowling, except the pins instead of being in a triangle are in a diamond, and they are pretty thin. They're like almost like duck pin pins, and the ball is like kind of like a shot put. Which I think is similar also to duck pin bowling, right? But the beginning part of the lane, like closest to you, is probably like 2.5 feet wide, and then as it gets closer to the pins, it like widens and to like a full probably like 5 feet or whatever, to like more of like whatever a bowling lane would be. And the edges of the like thinner part are banked, and so if you like look down like the thin part, like there are pins on the outsides of like what would be the thin parts. If you just rolled it like straight down the middle, you can't hit all of the pins. So you have to like curve the ball and like ride the bank in order to like get to those other pins. But here's the really fucking fun part, I think there's 9 pins and maybe it is 10, and this is something I'm not an expert on, but
you're the best at it.
I'm the best at it in the world.
Yeah.
But mostly I just like can't imagine what would make a diamond if it was 9, if that made sense. Anyways, when you no, it is 9. The first person who rolls, they have to knock down the first pin, like the one.
Yeah,
like
1, 2,
closest to them.
3, 2, 1.
If they don't knock the very first pin down, but they knock down other pins, you reset all of them. You get two like tries if you're the first bowler to try to knock down that first pin. If you do, then you can try to knock down all the rest. Whatever pins you don't hit, stay up, and then the rest of your team throws at them.
Okay.
So like if you knock down the front pin and like 4 of them, then it's up to your team to try to knock down the other 5. And if they knock them all down, then they set them back up. And if your team is still bowling, then it's up to that person to knock down the front pin.
Yeah.
So it's like bowling, but instead of like individual frames, it's like a team game.
As many as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like the person who bowls last is like the cleanup hitter basically, and you can change the order round over round. You don't have to like.
This is I sense something coming.
Yeah, you don't have to like keep the same order. So we were playing, and like eventually like my cousins who live in Luxembourg were like, oh yeah, you have to be the cleanup hitter because you're the only one who can do all of this. And it was because I was like incredible at fucking like spinning the ball and like hitting these pins that were like harder to hit, and like I was the cleanup hitter, an absolute natural at a game I had never played before. I'm not a very good bowler. And we've gone bowling before. I'm not a very good bowler.
Well, I mean, you're a small guy, so the small ball fits you well, and you know the mechanics of bowling,
right? Totally. And I played baseball, and like so, like
spin,
like spinning the ball like felt really natural, and yeah, I just fucking killed it at this game that I had never played before, and I was visiting Luxembourg for the first time since I was like 4 years old, and I was visiting my cousins, and I actually have like a great uncle alive there. I like thought all my like great ancestors were dead because my grandparents were passed away, and all my great uncles and aunts, but I have like great uncles and aunts over there. And so it was like sort of like this weird coming home, like, you know, sort of feeling, and then I just like dominated this game I had never played.
It's in your genes, man.
Yeah, I really feel like it felt very like magical.
It's coming back to you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. That's a good one. Have you searched to see if there's anything in the States that anywhere that you can play?
Not even attempted to do that.
Yeah.
That's so smart. I should do that, absolutely.
There might be. There probably is.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people from Luxembourg in this country because there's not a lot of people from Luxembourg. But there's like I think the biggest density is like Chicago and like Iowa. Like Iowa has
We're
much
in
Luxembourg.
Chicago.
We're in Chicago, yeah.
Wow.
But
should check, dude.
I should check.
I would love to go play.
Kalen Spielen. It's so fun. The ball is like, it's really fun.
That sounds like a blast. Because I like bowling, but the ball's too big.
The ball's too big.
And would it be fun if we all went and we all got to be on a team? And we're all trying to knock down the same pins?
Oh, yeah.
That sounds more fun.
Then the score at the end of your round, it's like, oh, we got 22. It's like, how much more fun is that than like, I got a 4? You know, like, because I can bowl a 4 and be like, oh, shucks. And then you could like knock down the next 5 and we're like, whoa, now we're back in business.
Yeah. Like, those were a good 4 that you knocked down, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. I love teams.
Me too.
Just in general.
I like team sports better than individual sports. Yeah. And I think it's one of the reasons why I like improv so much.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Me too.
What do we got, Andrew?
Yeah, maybe do a little improv.
Yeah.
Little quick scene or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's maybe let's have a prompt that came from something that we talked about to get into. We can like cast it too.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry for yawning.
It's all right. I guess we should just end now.
That's the signal I was trying to send.
I want to see a family at the red table show.
Yeah,
it's a made up family.
We're all doing it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're all gonna do it.
And this is where we air grievances. That's what they do at the red
yeah.
table. Just to clarify.
I think it is.
We've
like,
never seen it, but
we don't know. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So this is the red table. Is that what it's called?
The red table. Yeah.
The red table.
The red table time.
This is a family.
And this is a family at the red table time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it strange that they all left the room and just left us here? Are we supposed to just...
Jerry, not everything is strange.
Some things are strange, Susan.
But not everything is strange. Thank you, Denise.
Okay.
I'm
mother's daughter.
I'm just saying that when we got here, Jada Pinkett Smith was in the room and she said something to the effect of, "Okay, we're gonna get into it," and then she straight up just left the room.
Yeah.
I heard her click on a camera as she left.
Yeah, she just clicked on the camera and then left.
So we go. We do the talk.
She's not in our family. This is our family.
Okay.
This is our chance to take it back because we're falling apart right now.
We're falling apart right now.
Okay, Mom, then how come, let's get into it. How come I had to be a C-section? How come Denise got to be born naturally and I had to be a C-section?
Well,
That's
because my vagina was all messed up the second time around.
Yeah, the vagina wasn't messed up from nothing.
Okay, Dad, why didn't you tell me that when I asked you earlier?
I forgot until just now, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mom, for bringing that up on television.
It does make sense.
Well,
it does. You have to admit that makes sense, right?
That it wasn't messed up the first time, and the second time it was messed up.
If it were reversed, you'd have something, I would say. But
if Denise was a C-section baby and I was born naturally,
I'm not a C-section baby, Dad.
No.
As much as you wish I was.
Well, sometimes
because you hate having a daughter.
You would still exist. Do you understand that if you're...
You didn't refute that you hate having a daughter.
No.
Yeah, you didn't even try to refute it.
No, I'm just saying that if you were a C-section baby, it would still be... Doesn't change anything. You just...
I don't want to be a C-section baby. I want to be your baby.
Yeah, but you're implying that means that you don't exist, which is...
Todd, how about instead of refuting your daughter, you just tell her that you love her?
Okay, I am in here with everybody, and I'm talking, and we're airing... I agreed to come here, right?
Dad, I love you, and you can't even say it back.
Just look at her and say the words,
Who am I looking?
Denise, look at Denise. Look her in the eyes.
Where is she?
Right here, Dad, it's your little angel.
This room is so big and smoky, and I can't even see anybody.
It's small.
I can't see anyone in here.
There's
Okay.
a lot of smoke, though.
Where's
that coming from?
Don't put your sunglasses on.
Come on, all right, hey, Hey.
What's my name?
Good. That's good. Okay. I'm happy I'm happy you're happy.
Todd,
No.
what's your daughter's name?
What?
What is my name?
Ask me 3 other questions and let me answer one of them.
A bunch of people said it already. What's my name?
What was your favorite running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Oh my God, it's always this. It's always boys versus girls in this house.
Michael Allstott.
As a fullback.
Is a running back. Why is everybody against me? Fullback is a running back.
Todd, we're not against you. We just don't. We don't know sports. We don't get the same references.
Ever since
Ask me
Denise
who
got tall, she's just so mean. to
Denise.
everybody.
You had a clue.
Denise.
He said my name.
I said it. What do we have a timer on the questions? Do I need a lawyer here?
You don't need a lawyer to talk to your family.
Denise, just because you're the tallest doesn't mean you get to make everything about you. And that's what I'm gonna say.
I didn't ask to be 6'4", okay? I didn't ask for these long legs. Mom, they're bullying me.
Well,
I
when
know, honey, but
You
just
won't pick up a basketball.
when NBC emailed mom and said, "Do you want your daughter to be interviewed for being such a freaking tall person?" You didn't say no to that, did you?
No, I didn't say no to that.
You didn't say no to them when they said they were gonna make you honorary prom queen, even though you graduated last year.
That's because the prom queens weren't very good this year, and I
they were
felt
bad. You should have seen them.
Everyone got so mad at me. All the women in my class got so mad at me because they said your sister stole prom queen from us.
They weren't much compared to Denise.
Well,
Really,
okay.
Dad?
I mean, have you looked at
Well,
them?
hey.
They're not. I mean, they don't have
You're saying
charisma. They don't have charm.
It was an administrative decision to make an honorary prom queen. I just think that there was some logic that went in.
Well, no one
Into
would
that.
go to prom with me because you took prom queen from the current prom queen class could have gotten it, but you took it, so now no one will look at me twice.
Well, honey, I mean, the girls at the school, you don't want them as your prom dates, okay? They can't even
They
make
weren't
prom
even.
queen.
They didn't even get on the board.
They
Is
couldn't,
that what they call it?
Couldn't make
Board
the
of
board?
prom queen candidates.
It's called the board at our school.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
they couldn't be prom queen because Denise got retweeted by Kamala Harris, mom, which you always bring up.
Well, why wouldn't I bring it up? It's amazing.
Big news.
Kamala's the funniest vice president we've ever had,
It's
and
hilarious.
she's retweeting our daughter? That's a major accomplishment.
That's money. That's money.
That's money in your
That's
college pocket,
money
okay?
in our pockets.
You
Okay.
keep
Mr.
saying that.
I
You
want to
keep
go to
saying
an
that.
Ivy League.
Oh, I want to go. I want to go to an Ivy League school and study philosophy.
Okay, now we're having this conversation again about
Yeah.
Well,
philosophy.
we're at the red table, aren't we, son?
Yeah, I don't understand why we got to the red table just because you're so freaking tall. We're at the red table now.
Well, Jada called and she said, "I hear your family's been having some trouble."
Yeah, I saw the retweet.
And I thought it would be good, and your father thought it would be good. And
I'm actually starting to feel a lot better.
that's good to hear.
I am.
I'm glad you're with us.
Thank
I
you.
feel good too now that I know that Dad thinks I'm prettier than all the girls in the grade below me at school.
Yeah.
Do you really think I'm prettier than all them, Dad?
Yes.
What's my name?
Ask me a couple more questions and we'll figure that out.
Who's your favorite defensive back for the Chargers of all time?
Big Jim Harris.
That's a good one.
Answer the question.
Can you remember her name? You helped pick it out.
You said it 3 minutes ago.
19 years ago, you helped pick it out. You've been saying it your whole life.
Where is everybody? I can't see anybody right now.
There's
This room is so
much
big.
Smoke in
So
here.
much
There's
smoke.
so much.
It is getting
smoke.
really hot here. They're trying to smoke us out of this room. I think they're trying
Okay,
to
we need
intensify
to.
everything.
We gotta
Okay.
resolve everything
Yeah,
Wait,
fast.
if they resolve it, maybe it's like an escape room where if we like actually solve all our problems as a
Okay.
family, we can get out.
Yeah, okay.
All right, I'm game.
It seems like a lot of the tension ultimately comes back to Jerry.
Okay, yes.
Okay, what?
You seem to have a problem with everyone at this table.
You're just being a little shit and having a problem with everything that anyone's saying. We're actually working through some stuff, don't you think?
Yes, just say my name one more
We'll
time.
figure that out in
Okay.
a second.
Fuck. No, that's back on the table now.
It's back on the
Dad,
table.
I
You're
got
gonna
you
have
out
to
of
do
that
some work.
twice by asking you football questions. The only thing you care about.
Yeah, and I appreciate it, but the Chargers one was hard. And you know that I'm not a West Coast football fan, okay?
Jerry,
bet-
sometimes it just feels like you only care about half of this family, and the half is your father.
Well, he's the only one that didn't have me as a C-section baby, so
What
I
is
feel.
your big problem
What's
with the
wrong
C-section?
with the C-section?
How
Are
what?
kids making fun of you at school because
Am I-
you
am I
came
too-
out of my abdomen?
I'm not good enough to go through the regular birth canal like Denise.
Oh my god!
I'm not good enough to go through mom's vagina. Is that what it
Denise
is?
was 3
God.
feet long when your mother had her, okay?
3 feet. That's so much worse. So she was a huge baby, and she got to come out of your vagina
Yeah,
normal.
And now my vagina is never going to recover.
Never going
Correct.
back.
Nothing is happening down there. That
Okay, so you were a C-section baby. This isn't worth even discussing. First of all, how did the kids even find out you were C? You didn't even have to tell them.
I told everybody.
All right.
Okay, Denise. Well,
It was part of my
that's-
prom speech
You
this
ha-
year.
Okay.
What was part of your prom speech last year?
Yeah.
My own birth, that I was just a normal. It was a two-parter.
Just talked about it.
Just
Yeah,
got
so
into
last
the
year I
birth
was a
story?
natural birth baby.
That's good. That's funny.
And that's why I was so
That's
tall and
funny.
beautiful. And then this year I came back and I got defensive because I didn't know any of the other kids there. And I talked about how Jerry was a
honey.
C-section baby.
No. Well, I get how that could come up.
And I'm sorry.
Denise, I think it's cool that you were the first woman to dunk a basketball in Antarctica. I think it's cool. I just wish that.
Denise.
I just wish.
You remembered.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite kicker for the Chicago Bears?
Robbie Gold.
That's 3. Dad, you did 3 questions.
Oh, was that a contest? Was that something that we were shooting for?
I
Is
think
that
that
part
was
of-
something, but I don't remember. The smokes made my memory go.
I'm feeling high. I'm starting to feel
Are they
high.
pumping marijuana into this
Something.
room?
Something. For sure. Feeling good. I'll say I'm feeling good, but not normal.
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, I can't see.
Mom, where do those
anything
gummy bears come from?
What?
Oh, give me
You're
that.
eating gummy bears right
oh my
now.
god, I am. I don't know. I must have found these in my coat pocket. You always gotta have a snack.
Yeah.
Why are they just loose? They're not even in a bag.
Everyone have one. Everyone take one.
Just
I want one.
yeah, have one. Go ahead.
We
They
shall
taste,
have.
they're all sour raspberry. Sour raspberry.
Sour
Do
raspberry.
you ever think about how we don't say the P really in raspberry?
Raspberry.
Raspberry. Whoa.
Raspberry.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely high.
Everyone's
Yeah, I am stoned.
slowing down.
Oh my god, I haven't been
I'm
stoned since
stoned,
1973.
Oh, this is fun. I'm glad we came here.
I'm glad too. Kids, how are you feeling?
Hi. Hi.
Denise, you're getting so much taller
Denise.
right
Sing.